Hello, I am Ben, that is Matt, and welcome to All Things Horror. Before we start, I'm sure you've probably noticed the new fancy intro, so we're going to be making a few tiny little changes to the podcast. Mainly the fact that I'm not going to drag out the plot line so much, and I'm just going to do a quick blast through it, the basics of the film, and we're going to spend more time talking about it. And especially when we do like really old films, like today's one's going to be like from the 80s, like 30, 40-year-old films, I feel it's silly to
Hey, that's not old.
put the warning. Like if you haven't seen the film in like 30, 40 years, then you can't really have a go at us for spoilers.
Yeah, you've had time.
Yeah. So yeah, like today's one is an 80s film. It's 1987, and that is The Gate. And we were just saying, like, before I hit record, like, we've only seen this like once. Like
Yeah,
me to watch this one, that was the first time I watched it like a couple of weeks ago. But
same.
yeah. Well, did you literally only see this for the podcast, or had you seen it?
I know. Yeah, just for the podcast, I had heard of it.
Mm.
It was on my radar, but for whatever reason, I'm one of those people who has never got round to watching it.
Mm.
So,
Same.
yeah, I've not watched the sequel. It's a strange one because I actually really like Stephen Dorff. I remember watching one of his films that I really like that a lot of people have not heard of called SFW, so effing what? Where he's like a bit of a badass, um, Gen X kind of. I don't know. It's a bit like Pump Up the Volume if anyone's seen that.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a good one. I've always quite liked him. He's been in quite a lot of films I've enjoyed. I've always thought he was a good actor.
Yeah.
So this is his first ever film, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, his debut. Like,
Yeah.
he's one of them actors where I know him. He's a very
Mm.
successful actor, and obviously this was his debut. But I've only think I've seen a couple of his films. I know he was in Blade and
Yes.
Blade 2. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. I haven't really. He does a lot of action films. I'm not really a kind of action movie
I
lover.
think he does now. I think he's at that point where he's not quite doing what sort of Bruce Willis was doing, where he would just like bank a lot of money and do any kind of low budget film. I just think he hasn't quite um he's not at that point of his career, I think, where he gets like to cherry pick films anymore.
Mm.
Um so he's like for example being like he was in like John Waters' Cecil B. Demented, which is a fun film, which I had for ages and ages and I hadn't seen. And then I watched it recently. Like you say, yeah, he's famous for Blade. He plays Stuart Sutcliffe in the Beatles film, Backbeat. Um, he was in the follow-up to Lost in Translation, Sofia Coppola's Somewhere,
Mm.
where he's a little bit insufferable in that. He's a little bit, yeah,
I'm just
a little
having a
bit
look
insufferable.
through his movies now.
Those are the main ones, like good ones. He's been in so many, like he's
Ooh.
worked for so. I remember watching like a kids, or like a not a teen film. It's hard to describe, like a Lifetime movie or a kind of one of these little dramas where are like supposed to teach people about not doing drugs or not having premarital sex and stuff. He was in one that I saw called Mother May I Sleep with Danger. I remember that. He's also in the Aerosmith Crying film
Oh,
uh, um,
yeah.
video. So obviously Crying, and then what's the other one that was? There's the Liv Tyler and um, Alicia Silverstone one, and then there's a one that's just Liv Tyler. I'm trying to think. They both have names like Crying, and I'm gonna have to pause because the dog is barking for now. Just
Yeah,
trying to work out why she's barking. I'll have to pause. Sorry, Marcy, Marcy. She just waited till we started.
no.
Oh, it's the right. It's someone's delivering something, so they'll go now because I've told them to leave it on. Right, Marcy, Marcy, come here, Mars. She's gone. The lady is gone. They're driving away. I can see them on the camera. They've gone. As soon as they drive, there they're gone. They're gone. So she'll stop barking now. Sorry. So yeah. So in the
Yeah,
Aerosmith in the really so back when as a horny teenager you couldn't like just switch on your phone and look at naughty stuff. You had to watch like MTV or things and to
yeah.
see like Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler in all kinds of sexy clothing, and that was a very I can vividly remember watching both of those Aerosmith ones, and he's the boyfriend I think who
Yeah,
they're running away from and crying.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one.
I was just having a flick through to see because I'm
Crazy, that's
sure
the other one.
there was
Crazy.
more. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure
Yeah.
there was more other than Blade, but there was. You ever seen the film Space Truckers, 1996?
I have. Do you know I've tried watching that a couple of times because
It's a weird
it's
one.
It's Stuart Gordon, so it's like he's one
Yeah,
of my favorite directors, Reanimator and
he was in that.
Dolls.
Yeah.
But I just can never get into. I've maybe watched half of it three times, Space Truckers, because it's on the Full Moon channel on Prime, but I've never watched the whole thing. I need to give it another go. But it's
There's
the
also,
same year as I think, or
yeah,
close to the same year as SFW, which is the one I think of
right.
when I think of Stephen Dorff. That's him and Reese Witherspoon.
He was also in the 2017 remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one that was just called Leatherface.
Oh yeah, okay. I've
Yeah,
not seen that.
yeah.
No.
Don't. No, all right.
I get so confused with them all. My favorite is that I've seen so far. I've not seen all of them, but my second favorite, my favorite is the second one. It's a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
fun.
a lot of people's favorite, that one.
Is it?
Mm,
Oh, that's what he's in as well. Another good film, Judgment Night. I don't know if you've ever seen Judgment Night, where it's
no,
what a
no.
great cast. So these sort of middle class guys, they go to watch an American football game. They rent out this big like RV truck thing, so they can have like what do you call them? These parties that they do outside the football game, and they go to like a rough place and they park up, and then they end up getting chased by these drug dealers who are like ran by Dennis Leary. So it's like um, Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Jeremy Piven,
Wow.
Stephen Dorff, and they're all basically like just a group of friends. They're not like tough guys or anything. And then Dennis Leary makes it his kind of mission to ruin their lives, chasing them in this city at night. It wasn't successful, and it's kind of weird because it's got like a proper kind of almost like like a hip hop soundtrack with a Die Hard feel
Mm,
to it, and a lot of people haven't seen it. And it kind of reminds me a bit of a John Carpenter as well, because there's like that idea. There's not a lot of people around, and it's dark, and they're running a bit like Escape from New York or something like that.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good one. He plays the kid brother in it. Um,
I
so yeah, he's been in some good films actually, just not mega big ones.
yeah, I mean, I hadn't even heard of this film. The It's weird, like the only time I heard this film was because of this t-shirt I'm wearing now. Like I've got
Oh,
this
okay.
t-shirt, I don't know if you can see, but it's a load of like VHS
Which
tape.
one's the gate? The second one? Oh no. Is it the last one on the thing?
There it
Oh,
is.
there it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Wow, it's a long t-shirt. It's got
I
a lot of
know.
films in it.
I know. So literally
Reanimator on there.
I know all of them. I like all of them. And then there was that one. I was like, what the hell is the gate? And I
Right.
was
So
like,
you
oh,
gotta,
well,
yeah,
it's
you
on this
gotta watch
t-shirt. It
it.
must be good. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why I was keen to do this one.
And there was going to be a sequel, 3D one. Like Alex Winter from Bill and Ted was going to make
Yeah.
a sequel, but it never got made. There is a sequel with the kid who's like his friend is the lead in it. So I know
Right.
Stephen Dorff.
Oh,
Um, it's not like it doesn't look like like a really big budget film, and it isn't, is it? I don't think. But
no.
it's got some good practical effects, hasn't it?
Mm.
And it's a good story. And Stephen Dorff's got a lot of personality. Like a lot of these films live and die on where how irritating the kids are. if they're an irritating kid, you don't
Yeah,
want to watch it. And him
yeah,
and his friend are actually pretty like likable all the way
yeah.
through.
Yeah, that I was thinking that like by far these two kids are the best bit about this film. They are so
Yeah,
like you get like the teenagers, like the teenage girls that are kind of throwing the party and stuff. They are so
yeah,
annoying and they're not
yeah.
good casted characters. I know they're like just I like to call throwaway characters. They're not important. They're just there.
Mm,
They're there to be
mm.
there. But yeah, they really annoyed me whilst watching this.
Yeah. One of them went on to be the mum in the OC, which is a bit weird. She was Laurie in it, but that shows it's obviously quite a while ago when the film was made. This is what
7.
87. So yeah, so it's got a lot of good things. Mm, it's got a lot of things going for it, like in terms of the main two kids are good.
Mm,
The idea is quite simple and quite good.
yeah.
Um, where they live is a bit strange. It feels like a completely empty place in the middle of a desert, but there's just houses there. It feels
Yeah.
a bit odd. So it feels a bit like one of these places where they're trying to make it into a city, like, or trying to make it into a town, and it's just kind of people have moved there for work or whatever, and
Mm.
it just feels a bit odd. Um, it's like a Milton Keynes kind of
Yeah.
feel to
Yeah.
it. It's just so that took me a little bit of time because it's not like it doesn't look really super 80s other than the sort of practical effects stuff
Mm.
and some of the special effects as well that they do with the lights and things. But it feels it's not like really dark for a horror film. It's quite bright. It almost feels like they're filming this in Las Vegas or somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
actually made in Canada, which is really weird.
Oh.
Like a lot of cheaper films, it's cheaper to make them in thing. But then the general vibe of it is I think they're trying to go for like a Spielberg or a Stephen King kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it doesn't quite pull that off. Like I don't know if it's people's. It's got a good
Mm.
reputation, hasn't it? Where it's a lot of people's favorite stuff,
Yeah.
like favorite film. I think people generally say it's pretty good, don't they?
Well, I mean, it made it onto the t-shirt, so
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like it's not. Yeah, it's got. It might be one of those where if you watched it as a kid, you kind of identified with him
mhm.
and that made you kind of a bit like say the Goonies. Like the Goonies is one of those, isn't it, where if you watched it as a kid,
Yeah.
no, you can't call the Goonies, you can't say anything negative about it, but if you watch it for the first time now, you might be like,
I thought that whilst watching. I think I actually made a note somewhere where I thought like this film is like a cross between Goonies and Gremlins or Goonies
mm,
and Ghoulies. You know, like
Ghoulies,
the
yeah,
the
yeah,
silly kind of like horrors, the comedy horrors, but with kids. So
yeah.
yeah.
And it's funny because the guy's not gone on, like the director's not gone on and done anything. He's done like sort of Lifetime movies or what do they call them? What's
No.
that? What? Not Lifetime. What are they called? The company that always does Hallmark sort of stuff.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I didn't look up much about the writer. I believe the writer is best known for this film, and then did a few like Chicago Hope and different things. But I think he was on the new Battlestar Galactica, which I never watched, but I love the original.
Mm,
So neither of them have kind of, the writer or the director have kind of used this as a way of doing more Spielberg-esque or Stephen King-esque Americana kind of stuff. There isn't this. There's the second one, which I haven't seen,
mm.
Trespassers. But this is it. So
Yeah, same with the
it's their most successful thing.
yeah. I was going to say same with the director. His name is Tibor Takas. Tibor Takas.
Right.
Takacs. Ah, yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is by far his biggest film, and he did do the second one, right? I mean, I haven't seen it, but he was
Yeah, I believe
listed on there.
so. Yeah, I
Um,
believe so.
yeah, I had a quick look. Other than this, it's his only noteworthy film was the Sabrina the Teenage Witch movie.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, the majority of his films tend to be like killer animals or end of the world type films.
Right, right. Interesting.
They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get when
Don't
it's
bother.
somebody who hasn't lived in America as a child, when they try and make a thing that is like kind of an American, it's kind of American vibe to it. It's kind of just slightly off, like Troll 2 or The Room or something where they're making it's almost like it's gone through Google Translate or something, or AI has made it, and it's just not. So this feels a little bit like that, where it's kind of like what a guy from Hungary thinks a Stephen King type film would be like, or what a Spielberg kind of thing would be like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad, but there's just something off about it. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad film. I think it's a lot of fun. I think Stephen. I don't think. Maybe if Stephen Dorff was in the sequel, probably I'd watch it because I was like, he really does help the film. He helps the film in a lot of ways because he's an engaging kid actor, and obviously he's gone on to be successful. So
So when was the sequel?
I think it was only like it was close.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
like
it was
literally like a year or two later.
1990, so 3 years after this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
And the
Interesting.
kids, obviously, his friend who's like really scared of all this stuff and believes in it all and everything. Obviously, he's going to be the one who opens it up in the sequel, isn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't learn. He didn't learn from the first time.
I was just
Uh,
looking because I've just typed in the gate and it's got recommended films like if you like this one, like similar films, and obviously the Gate Two's on there, but it literally had I mentioned Ghoulies a minute ago. Yeah, Ghoulies,
hmm.
Critters, House, Troll.
House, yeah.
Yeah.
First Troll, I can't remember much of. Troll 2 is one of the
Um,
greatest, worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I absolutely love Troll 2.
Troll.
It's just so good. Like the documentary about it, best worst movie is great too.
The best.
Um, it's one of those like The Room and Miami Connection and oh man, just all that kind of terrible movies. It's
Mm,
just a lot of fun, and that's an Italian director, so it's like one of those where maybe there's a little bit of the so yeah, and you mentioned Ghoulies as well. Like maybe that's more budget wise, that's more similar, isn't it, to this? Like
Ghoulies,
it's
Critters, Gremlins. They're all kind of in that same boat.
yeah, Ghoulies is kind of the lower tier
Mm.
of like Gremlins is like a masterpiece, like
Oh
lots
yeah.
of money, big company, really great. And then Ghoulies is like somebody going, okay, so we need to make some money out of this craze of little creatures. They've watched Ghoulies, they've watched Critters, they've watched um oh man, even the Ghoulies Go to College. I thought I'd really enjoy that because
Mm.
I kind of quite like stuff like that. And that one is a hard film to watch. Oh my word. Yeah.
Um,
Best not even mention that.
I just realised I was meant to just quickly blast through this
Oh yeah. Yeah,
plot.
let's do that.
I've dumbed it down. It's just, like the concept of the
Good.
film.
I'll need it to be dumbed down.
So this is for you, Matt. It's
Okay.
so it's all about a couple of kids. Their name is Glenn and Terry. And after a tree is removed from Glenn's garden, they find this mysterious geo-like rock in the hole. So they break it open and accidentally perform a ritual that opens the gate, unle
Oops.
uh-oh, unleashing a small demon creatures. And so they got to try and stop it before they, take over the world. And also they got
Yes.
to clean it all up before his parents get home. Because
Well, yeah, and also once again, you've chosen a film where something sad happens to a dog,
oh yeah,
and
I made a
and
note
as
about that as well.
I was like, God damn it! Um, but spoiler alert, the doggy is okay at the end of the film, so I'm okay about it.
literally, I made that note. I was like, literally, I wrote down, I was like, I know you hate movies where a dog dies, but you can't blame me for choosing this one because I didn't know. I hadn't seen this film.
Yeah,
And
just a coincidence.
I put dot 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 plus he comes back at the end, so it's all good, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The dog's fine. Everybody's okay. It's all
Everyone's
good.
fine. Everyone's fine. The house ain't, but everyone.
No, well, yeah. I wonder
Mm.
what happens once they go into the house when they get home. Everything's just cool. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah.
Luckily, everything the whole area looks like it's just been made like it's like those sort of old-fashioned films, like a silent film where like the whole front of the house is just a wooden front and it falls down. That's what these houses look like. So yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
fine.
Mhm. Right. So we briefly spoke about the practical effects, special effects and stuff. What did you make of this? Because it had a lot of like stop motion animation, which I'm for, which is good.
Yeah.
Much prefer that rather than CGI. But I don't know if it had animatronics. Definitely stop motion. What do you think of the little like demons?
I thought it was all right. It was quite cute. Like, yeah. I thought it was quite a nice
That's the thing. I
um
thought the
yeah.
same. Are they meant to be cute?
No, probably not. But it's because it's quaint. I guess quaint more than like you're like, oh, we don't really see that as much now. And
Yeah.
sometimes they've
Yeah.
done it. I've seen it a few things. I guess like Ray Harryhausen is the famous name in that kind of thing, and it's a good way of having something that looks like you could touch it for real without
Mm.
costing ridiculous amounts of money. But I actually quite liked it. I thought it was made it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
I
My
don't
own
I don't know if there's anybody in there that I knew like for doing other things.
no, no. My only complaint is I wish there was more.
Mm.
Um
Yeah, there's parts of it where yeah, they're a bit stingy with the exciting stuff. There's a lot of like looking around and digging and wandering around the house and
because it takes
parties
what
and stuff.
I didn't have the timestamp, but it does I mean it felt quite a while until it actually got into the thick of it.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder
Right.
if that's a budget thing, like, but
Yeah.
also maybe you know you want. It's hard, isn't it? Because you can see what sometimes their intention is. Their intention is that they're trying to build tension and build,
Mm.
drama and not just get straight into something. Because we complain if it just went straight into some action and we didn't care anything about the characters. But I feel like maybe it could have gone a little bit the other way. There could have been a bit of something where because we like Glenn pretty much straight away, so we don't need tons of build up.
No.
And like you say, maybe there's a bit too much about his sister's friends and the boyfriend and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. We could have got into some of the monsters a bit earlier. The gate itself isn't like this kind of idea of like you're peeling back the earth and there's thousands of different creature
Uh,
types in there and stuff. We just get a little bit
I'm
coming
sure
in and
I'm sure they would have wanted to do that, but with the
yeah,
budget they had, yeah, I don't think it was on the cards. 'Cause, I mean, especially a film that's called The Gate, you don't actually get to
yeah.
see the gate very much. I know, like,
No,
what's his
no,
name
that
falls down the hole, but that's about all you really get from the gate, and they cover it up.
yeah. It's a bit like a sort of 50s or 40s horror film where it's like more spooky and like what you can't see than what you can actually see. There's like, oh,
Yeah.
what's going on under there?
I
Um,
mean, it is probably harder when you think about it. I mean, you get on the set, it's what, 1987. You've got a big
yeah.
hole in the garden, and they're all thinking like the filmmakers like, okay, how can we make this hole scary? I mean,
Yeah.
and there was a little bit like when the hole was first done, yeah, that I don't know. Well, I should have rewatched this, but you can hear them. You can hear like little whispers and
Yeah,
maybe a
that's
little bit
pretty
of fog
good.
that came out. That was cool, right? Um, but I do wish there was more. Like I like the story, I like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
film.
There's some.
It just felt a little bit bland in the action.
I think it reminds me a bit of like a Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories episode
Mm.
where it's like there's a concept and an idea and it has a nice warm feel to it and you kind of the characters are interesting and generally and it's like a but those used to only be about 35 minutes long
Mm.
and maybe this isn't there's not quite enough there. They've had to stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and maybe that's why it feels like like the rocket stuff and
Well,
they don't really go very they don't really there's not a lot going on.
just thinking about that now, you saying that, I've just realized what it actually reminds me of. It reminds me of that scene, well, episode within Creepshow, where Stephen King is playing the person and in that space
Yeah.
lands in the garden, he touches
And
it,
again,
it
that's
starts
quite
going.
short, isn't it? Like it's in
Oh,
an
it's very short.
anthology.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
20 minutes long. But yeah,
yeah.
that's what that reminds me of actually.
This came out, I think, either the same week or around exactly the same time as Texas Chainsaw 2 as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
So yeah, very different films. This is quite tame.
Hmm.
The thing is as well, what kind of makes it stand out as low budget is a lot of the time the things come out of the hole, but they just kind of almost like knock on the front door and then take it in turns coming in.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like we'll
yeah.
deal with this monster, then we'll deal with this one, and then we'll deal with
Yeah,
this one.
yeah.
Um,
I was just trying to find the budget. I think the budget was 6 mil, which is quite generous for a.
and it did relatively well. Like it was
Yeah,
quite successful.
but it doubled it. Well, more than doubled it. 13 and a half.
And I can't imagine they'll have spent a lot of money on the promotion for it at the time. So yeah, it was a bit of a word of mouth hit. It's interesting the way they lit the whole up. That's it really. It's just lit up. It's not like they go right in and there's all kinds of crazy weird stuff.
Yeah.
I was just kind of wondering what it'd be like if Frank Henenlotter made this. He'd have like about 40
Oh
different
my God.
prosthetic creatures in there, all different stuff. Because you think like even in like Basket Case 2, he's like, oh, I've got a guy who's got like a mouth organ attached to his face. I've got this guy
Yeah.
whose eyes up here. Like if he was doing this film, the actual gate, it'd be all like kind of spaghetti and weird, crazy stuff coming out of the hole. Whereas in this one, it's quite organized. It's like I said, they're all kind of lining up, coming out a bit at a time. They have to deal with this monster, then this monster.
If
Just
Frank Henenlotter did it, there would be no two demons that look the same
no,
in this
no.
film.
And the
Every
eyes,
scene
the
is
eyes
like
wouldn't be
mirrored.
like. I'm
Yeah.
looking at a picture of one of them before, and like it just looks like it's got eyes, teeth. It's very like everything's very like organized
Yeah.
and straight and straightforward. And I guess that's maybe why it reminded me a bit of a Steven Spielberg's amazing stories. I thought the sister was pretty good as well. She had a nice little chemistry with
Yeah.
her little kid sister.
Mm.
Um, she's not like yeah. The other male characters, not really. There's nothing about them. The two friends who were like, oh my God, kind of characters. I wasn't that bothered about. They weren't that interesting either. The friend was good. He kind of reminded me of the way he dresses. He dresses like Ryan Adams dresses now. He's like got the denim jacket with the heavy metal patches on, and he's almost like these kind of playing music backwards. You can talk to the devil and
Yeah.
satanic panic and heavy metal and Ouija boards and all that kind of stuff that I remember from that people in church were saying I needed to be very scared of at the time. That kid is exactly talking about all that stuff. This was a real thing that people were really like telling us to be scared of. What would it be? Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons and
Yeah.
playing Ozzy Osbourne backwards and yeah, heavy
Did you
metal
think
and
it
stuff.
was a bit of a stretch that he did the whole like, oh, this album here says this thing that will close the gate that releases,
Yeah,
it will save it, Do you think
maybe, maybe.
And
Hmm.
they ended
But
up losing that down the gate, so they just started with
yeah,
Bible. So, oh,
yeah.
that's close enough.
I was thinking about that, and I was thinking that the kid, it's believable that maybe his dad, I think it's his dad is really into that, and he's at that age where whether his dad's into and like maybe he's given him all that kind of info, and like it's more what his dad or older sibling or whatever is really into. I think he's not. I don't think he's got an older sibling. I think it's just like his dad's like a heavy metal head or something, and that's like
Hmm.
my dad's into it, so therefore I'm into it. I'm like 10-year old and I'm into this kind of British band, I think it is, this obscure British band, and
Yeah, I was meant to look
which
that up. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's like a kind of trying to be a bit like a Black Sabbath. I think it's trying to say that they're like Black Sabbath, that kind of thing, almost like a Spinal Tap kind of kind of thing, where it's like, all right, governor, like we're in a British band. So yeah, I thought that was believable because I feel like he's at that age where his dad's really like he thinks his dad's really cool, so he's going to be into the same stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he doesn't really have a choice. He's kind of been brainwashed. It's like if your dad's really into Formula One and you're 10 years old, then you'll absolutely love Formula One. Like
Yeah.
you'll go, if he takes you to all the things and
Yeah.
buys you the clothes and the magazines and watches it every week or whatever, then you're going to be into it. Um,
I was shocked.
whereas, yeah,
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say that I was shocked when I looked to see the rating on this, it was rated a 15. Like before I watched it, it was rated a 15.
yeah,
I was wondering,
why?
would it be a better film if it was an 18 and they put a bit more into it, a bit more spooky, scary, bloody, if they amped it
Maybe.
all like what they did with, like The Thing. Where is it?
Or
The
like
Thing.
House, like it maybe needs to be a little bit more like House.
Hmm,
There's a lot. But I even said that. I mean, like I watch House and I watch this, and I both think like, why are they not both PGs?
true. Yeah,
It's
true.
like these days, I don't know. There'd be like a 12A or something, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, because
I,
House doesn't have any blood in it whatsoever.
yeah, I don't know. They're both in a way quite old fashioned. It's like haunted house. It's
Mm,
basically old haunted house movies, like The Haunting or whatever. Like when they did the remake of Haunting or House on Haunted Hill. There
mm,
isn't really anything scary in any of those films, the originals or the remakes.
yeah.
It's the closest. Well, I was thinking we watched Ghost Ship, didn't we? And there's like a bit at the beginning which is absolutely fucking amazing and like really violent and crazy and like mind blowing, and then the rest of it's super boring.
Yeah.
But like there isn't. Yeah, it's funny. There's a kind of genre of not very scary films
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
are classified as horror. And often it's like the house is haunted or the garden is haunted. I mean, in House, it's both, really, isn't it? Because he's like burying these things in the garden or digging these things up.
Is this
Um,
technically classed as a comedy horror?
I don't know, because I don't think it's like funny.
It's not
I
really
think
funny,
it's
is it?
more like fantasy. There's not like that much humorous stuff in there. Maybe
Right.
those sisters' friends are supposed to be funny, but it's not like the Goonies are.
No.
Um, it doesn't have that. It's not quite one thing or another, and that's maybe why. Like it's fine. It's a good watch. It's not a bad movie. Some of the effects, some of the miniatures are good. Some of the lighting's good. Um, but it's a little bit drawn out. It's like, I
Mm,
mean, I don't even know how long it is. So it's an hour and 25 minutes, and it feels like they're running out of ideas. So
yeah.
it's not like it's a 3 hour film or 2.5 hour film, and they've just dragged it out. They've literally got it's what you said, I suppose, isn't it? It's like it could be a really good section in an anthology.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it'd be great in like in a creep
It
show
could be a
or
creep show
yeah,
part.
Tales from the Crypt or something like that. I've
Mm,
been watching a lot of Amicus films recently, and some of those I'm like, yeah, you definitely couldn't make them into an hour and a half film. Like some of the
mm.
stuff are like you're struggling after half an hour. There's weaker segments and there's stronger segments. This would be a good one. In fact, if you put it in and had four other really good sections to it, you could have a really good anthology with this in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just thinking because you said this was a technically it's a fantasy horror.
Mm,
A lot of people confuse fantasy horrors and sci-fi horrors. I was just trying to. There's a little bit of a fine line, but then again,
yeah.
I was just thinking like two of my all-time favorite horrors are fantasy horrors, and
Would you
that's
say it's what? Not music, magic and history and
mm,
things like that. And then the other side of it is like science and space and things like.
yeah, yeah. Because I was just thinking like my two. Well, actually, no. Two of my all-time favorite films is both Clive Barker. That's Hellraiser and Nightbreed.
Mm.
And I guess they are a fantasy horror.
Yeah.
And then my other two favorite horrors are sci-fi horrors, as you can tell by that one, The Thing,
Mm.
and up
And
there is
Jason X. No.
where is it? Fly. That's the Fly there. Um,
Ah.
yeah, The Thing and the Fly. So yeah, I was just thinking fantasy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, no, I think this one would be because it's like, magic and
It is. Yeah.
Ouija boards and spells and all that kind of supernatural stuff, which
Mm.
I think makes it more, even though there's sometimes supernatural elements in sci-fi, it's, I guess, grounded in, well, this is in the name, isn't it? Science and space and technology and all that kind of malarkey. But this, I think this one, like I've seen this described as a teen horror. Well, if we're being specific, he's about what is he? He's about 8.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So it's like more of a. That's what maybe makes you feel like it's a bit Spielbergy because Spielberg's just the master of having like small kids lead a film, which is actually quite like E.T. or The
Mm.
Goonies, or even though I know he didn't do The Goonies, but like had something to do with it. But like all that kind of, and Steven Spielberg's amazing stories, like where you have these children who are at the heart of it, and they've done it with Stranger Things, haven't they, as well? And
Hmm.
obviously, Stephen King's great at that with it, where the kids sound like kids, act like real kids. There's this kind of little language that they use that's believable. That's why I quite like Sleepaway Camp. Like the kids talk like kids and act like kids, and I think they managed this quite well in this film as well. And maybe that's what makes it stand out as a pretty good film.
So, all right, here's a question. Fantasy horror. All right, what would you what's your go if you had to pick a fantasy horror or sci-fi horror? What would you go towards? Where would you lean?
Probably,
For like,
probably sci-fi things like Event Horizon,
hmm
the like you say, The Thing. Whereas fantasy stuff, like it makes me think of Lord of the Rings, and which I find really boring,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like and like casting spells and Ouija boards, and
yeah.
it doesn't that doesn't really do it for me as much as a science fiction horror is often like crazy wild stuff where they inject the wrong serum and they get 12 heads, and like it's just a bit wilder and a bit more crazy. But I don't know. I
Well,
was
that's
just trying to work out what a basket case would be classed as. None of those, I suppose.
yeah. I mean, that's why I was just having a bit of a brain fart because
Body
my
horror, I
wife
suppose.
Lana, she's really into her fantasy like stories. She likes
Mm,
reading, and it's never appealed to me. Like you just said, when I think of fantasy, I think of Lord of the Rings. I don't
yeah.
like Lord of the Rings either. So I was like, oh, fantasy horror, and then it got me thinking. I was like, oh, well, I guess technically Nightbreed and Hellraiser are
Yeah,
fantasy horror because Clive Barker
maybe.
is known for his fantasy writing.
Well, that's it. Then maybe there's more fantasy films that come from like kind of texts that have a lot of lore and thought put into the origins of things, which is very Clive Barker, he's like
Mhm.
research into the occult and all that kind of stuff, which is again, you're not a million miles away um from like folk horror, which I absolutely love. It's not a million miles away fantasy from being
What
folk horror, so they're
what
all
about
kind
the
of cross
White
over, don't
Leprechaun?
they? Well, yeah, yeah, or like the Wicker Man, or
Yeah.
like things like that. So you know, and body horror isn't a million miles away from science fiction based horror because you've got like The Thing and stuff like that. So
Ooh.
they're all like, this is the thing, like it's breaking down the genres, they're all kind of interlinked and all connected because they all have little bits of other things in them.
Yeah.
I guess it just comes down to if you're trying to find a film to watch, you want to know a little bit about it just to decide, so you go, oh, I don't want to sit and watch like a 3 hour fantasy film that isn't really a horror.
Yeah.
um, so you just don't want to end up wasting your time. And that's probably why you end up watching the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
There's so
Oh.
many films made now that are easy to get hold of, and the title and the poster is kind of misleading, like on Tubi or Amazon Prime, that you're a little bit more cautious about what you watch because it's like, well, this isn't what I fucking signed up for. So yeah, like an
All right.
Amityville goat or whatever.
Oh my God.
I
Amityville
don't
in
know.
space.
Yeah, an Amityville.
All right. So I feel like we've talked about all we can really talk about in this film.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a good. It was a first watch for both of us as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. So if you was to rate this from 1 to 10, well, what are we gonna do? 1 to 10 holes.
One
One
to
to
ten
ten
holes in the
gates.
garden.
One to
My dog.
ten identical demons.
It's stressful for me because my dog used to dig up our old garden, and I used to cause a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So this upsets me. Um, Anyone with a dog who has had it burn circles into their grass, this is not the film for you. Um, I'm gonna give it 6.5. It's a
Ooh.
solid film. It's a solid film,
Wow.
but six and a
Well,
half balls.
I have actually got 6.5 as well. I've already written that down, 6.5, and I
Wow.
don't really know why. Like,
I
obviously,
just don't think it's a 7. It's definitely not a
no,
7,
no.
but it's
I
it's
was
probably a bit
taught.
mean to
I was
say
taught
it's
for
a
the 6.
6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Unusually, IMDb has a dead-on number. It's not like point anything. Well, when I checked anyway, like when I watched it, I think it was dead on 6,
oh, it is. Yeah, dead on 6 out of
which
10.
is really, really, really random. Like, well, it's not random. It is what it is. But
Rotten
it's very
Tomatoes,
rare.
a lot lower.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
36%. Wow. Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, like one would be absolutely terrible trash film. You never want to see it ever.
Yeah,
10 is like a genre changing masterpiece. 5
yeah.
is just it hits all the right
Five,
spots.
yeah, five's
Um,
like for me. Five's quite boring. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
It's an okay film. You probably won't watch it again. So I
yeah,
probably will watch this again. So that's why I was going for a little bit higher than middle of the ground. Like it's 6.5. I think that's a very fair score.
yeah. I think you've explained why I've done that as well.
Yeah. So what would make this a 7 or an 8 for you? Like if you could go and change anything for this film, whether they're on the
Um,
set and you'd be like, no, you need to do this, or
Maybe some funny stuff. Get rid of more the teenage friends,
mm,
and or have one of them, just focus on one of them and make them funnier. Have a little bit more comedy and a bit more silliness, and have a few more of the monsters gang up and
mm,
like work together and have it feel more overwhelming rather than it feels quite sequential, like they're just kind of queuing up outside the door, right? It's this monster's turn, this monster's turn. There's not a lot of jeopardy. You don't feel like it's going to go wrong. when you do start to feel there's some jeopardy, it's soon fixed quite quickly and everything's okay. So
Mm.
maybe it just needs a little bit more drama, a little bit more like focus on the kid sister and brother relationship. Just it just needs a bit of like a bit more crazy. Like but then maybe that's what my preference than what they're trying to do, I think, is like I say, more of a wholesome family Spielbergy kind of thing, but you
Yeah.
can do that and still be entertaining. Like E.T. is an entertaining film. There's funny stuff, there's sad stuff, there's exciting stuff in there. It doesn't bore you. And I feel like this has moments where I'm a bit like, oh, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half, so that's a bit unforgivable.
I agree. Yeah, for me, I think it would be either like you said, amp up the comedy of it, make it more enjoyable to watch for comedic purposes, or go
Yeah.
the other end of the spectrum
Yeah, or like wild and
and
yeah.
make it, gory, make it scary, make it a proper like more of a monster type film. Like, oh, this is coming out of
Yeah.
the gates of hell, who's going to kill everyone? Because really, there's
Yeah.
no body count in this, is there? Because everyone is fine at
Really.
the end. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, there isn't, and like there's bits where he's like where they're levitating the kid and all that kind of stuff, and it's
yeah,
like they could have made that could have been a bit more like he could have been humiliated a little bit more, if that
yeah,
makes sense. So, like it's not
yeah,
that bad.
yeah. Yeah, I would have definitely mixed up the demons as well, because all the little demons, little identical, little cute little demons, they're like
Yeah,
you got them, you got whatever it was that was under the bed. You only really saw its arms, comes out and grabs the girl's ankles or something, and then you get like the final boss at the end. But that's kind of it. I definitely would have mixed it. I would have liked to have actually seen the thing that was under the bed. Like it was a great big monster. Um,
yeah, yeah.
well, I guess you get the whatever it was that was hiding in the walls. You
At
know that.
least the dog was okay. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Uh, I just like how the friend he like takes the dog away and was like, oh, I'll sort this out. Takes to the vets. No, it's shut. Oh, I'll
It
just
just
chuck it
dumps
in the
it.
hole.
Yeah, what a what a bell end.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's it for this one. So, wrapping up, I remember at the end of our last episode, whatever it was we did last episode, I can't remember. We named a few films, didn't we? There was a few that you wanted to do. You wanted Malignant and Brain Damage.
Oh
Was
yeah, kind of similar. Yeah.
so yeah, you take your pick. What do you want to do next? Do you want to do Malignant or Brain Damage or
Oh, let's do brain damage. I've got a poster behind me.
Brain?
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Elmer.
And you had to explain that to me before.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, it's called Elmer in Germany. It's like, why? Like, what's it got to do with an elephant? No, or glue. I think in America don't they call it yeah, Elmer's
Yeah.
glue or something like PVC glue. So yeah,
Cool. All
no.
right. That was a cool episode. So yeah, unless you got anything else you want to add, I'll see us out.
No, I think that was a good one. It's good to watch something for the first time. It's good to kind of have to do it because I probably, even though I've been aware of it for 20 years or so, I never watched it. So
Mm.
I would have never have watched it, would I?
Yeah.
So
Cool. And I'm gonna watch Brain Damage next time for the very
nice,
first
nice.
time.
Need to find my DVD, my Blu-ray of it. Oh, there it is. It's always to hand. There we go.
You've introduced me to a lot of this is Hen and Lotter as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is also the same guy from Frankenhooker, so the same actor.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, so
So
he's
this will be the fourth, I think, that you've introduced me to. We
yeah,
both
we're running out because there'll only be a couple more. There'll only be um Basket Case 3, and then there'll be the his last one that he's done, which is what's that with the body, a really horrible body horror one, which isn't as much fun. Like it's not it's a good film in the sense of you've never seen a film like it. I'm trying to think what it's called. My mind's gone completely
Mhm.
blocked blank completely blocked. My brain is completely blocked. But I'm trying to, yeah, I need bad biology. Bad biology.
Bad
So
biology. Hmm.
that one is right in the middle of the kind of torch porn era of horror, and I feel like that is a bit because it's 2008, so
Right.
it's not got the fun side of
No.
um.
Not
So
like
you've
Terrifier.
yeah, so we've literally got we've done Basket Case, Brain Damage came after that. Basket Case 2, which we've seen, Frankenhooker, which we've seen on the show. So we've
Hmm.
only got Basket Case 3. And then there's a few documentaries, but what strangely one about Banksy that he did. But I feel like we should watch Bad Biology. I did own it at one point, which kind of shows that I'm not a massive fan of it because I don't own it anymore. But maybe I need to give it
Okay.
another go.
I'm intrigued.
Yes.
Sweet.
Oh, it's free on Plex as well, so
Oh, well,
we
that just
can.
kind of says it all then.
Yeah. Well, we can watch. Where can people watch Bad Biology? It's on Arrow channel. It's £3.49 on Prime, or you can buy it off Amazon or anywhere else. Or I guess that's it. Maybe check on YouTube, see if somebody's uploaded it to YouTube. I feel like I have watched it on YouTube at one point, so
Right. Yeah,
you never know.
I feel, was it Basket Case 2 or one of them? I think you might have told me that one of them's on YouTube. I can't remember which.
Yeah, well, I watched this film that we've watched today
Oh
on.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was on YouTube as well, so
Yeah.
thanks, YouTube.
All right, sweet. Shall I see us out?
Yeah.
Woo! All right. If you've liked today's episode, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. You can also drop us a comment or a message of what you'd like to hear or see next, depending on how you stream this. So yeah, thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Brain damage. Woo!